Good morning and welcome to Barking Mad and welcome to vlog number 4. Yes, that's Toto making an appearance. Just had to, didn't he? Just had to at that moment in time. Anyway, good morning. I hope you're keeping well and keeping safe. Today we're going on a little journey. Going to view some park homes today, mainly in the Dorset area. In fact, they are all now in the Dorset area. The Hampshire one sold overnight. And indeed one of the Dorset ones sold overnight, so I've added another one this morning which was also on my shortlist that I hadn't thought there was time for today, but there is now. And also going to have a look at another 2 from the outside right over in Tarrant Keyneston near Blandford Forum at the very end of the day. So hopefully it's going to be nice and sunny, although the sky out there is a little bit on the grey side, a bit like me. And the first viewing's at 12:15, but we're going to head off on a nice little leisurely journey over there very shortly. Sue's very kindly looking after the doglets for me. Thank you very much, Sue, very much appreciated. And well, let's see what happens today. Hello, I'm in Ringwood. I have viewed 3. The owners have been present at the same time, or on 2 of them. A little bit strange feeling, and so I didn't do any filming actually in the properties. The first one was actually really small. The photos deceived it. It was very small. The ground was garden around it was very almost just like an alleyway around 3 sides, and it was very compacted into the estate. Second one was next to a house of hillbillies. On that note, best left alone. It was a bigger single unit. It did need some work doing to it. It had been empty obviously quite a while, smelled a little bit musty, needed re-wallpapering, and it wasn't cheap. That one's 110,000, and although it's got off-street parking, you are still next door to the hillbillies. The third one, double unit, no chain once again. None of these have got a chain. Absolutely gorgeous. It really was. It was on an adjacent park, mainly of double units. Yeah, it was beautiful. An outlook down the entire road of the estate. It was really beautiful, that one. I shall put some photos up as I talk about them more at the end, and do a little picture in picture if I can get the hang of that bit. And yes, but it's piddling down, it's pouring with rain. I'm parked up in Ringwood to use their electronic toilets, which was a bit of a fiasco, but anyway, we did it. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to view a newer single one. It's only a few years old, this one. And then it's over to Tarrant Keyneston to view from the outside in this glorious weather. Hopefully it might be sunny over there. A couple of units there. So yes, it's going okay so far. A little bit disappointed by the first 2. But that's the art of viewing, isn't it? That's the whole point of it. If you don't go and see them, then you wouldn't know. So anyway, watch this space. Hello dear, I'm back home. What a day. It's been quite a long day, even though I didn't go till just before 11. I couldn't find my tablet bag. Anyway, all resolved, that part. Anyway, the traffic going through Dorset. Oh my God, is everyone barking mad and going away? Barking mad, huh? God, there's a pandemic on. For God's sake, people, stay safe. The roads were chock solid. Absolutely unbelievable. Anyway, today a very productive day, a great day. I feel rather happy and rather excited. So very briefly, and I'm going to go through these and hopefully put a little photo up somewhere down here, or maybe down here, wherever the editing suite allows me. So first of all, we went to Lumbey Drive. This is in Ringwood. It's a single unit. From the photos, it looked a lot bigger than it actually was. The home looked smaller, the grounds looked smaller, and in fact it was virtually an alleyway all around the home. Had a cute little greenhouse. Unusual situation where the agent was showing me around and the gentleman was sat in his car and his wife was sat in the greenhouse. So it had a smallish lounge, smallish kitchen, quite a tiny bathroom or shower room, and a smallish bedroom. But all the internal walls were, what's the word, lined with this plastic sheeting, like white clean. Some of it had sparkles in it, very pretty. But I do worry about, especially if it's got a gas boiler in situ and gas central heating and gas cooker, excuse me, how fire retardant that would be should it ever catch fire. Also, all the ceilings, as pretty as they looked, were UPVC tongue and groove, and whilst it's very nice and easy white clean, once again I would question how fire retardant that is. It felt very small, it felt exceedingly overpriced. It was up for £105,000. It was previously up at £98,000. A new agent took it on 3 days ago and has put it on as 105. When I asked them, has it had a new roof or something? The question was, no, just remarketing. I said, extra profit. So, won't be going for that one. I'm afraid it was just too closed in, too small, the grounds were too small, the dogs would go do lally-tap. They'd be doing spins around, little circuits around the home. I can see it now. The next one was on Pilgrim Drive Estate. Now, these two sites are next to each other in Ringwood. They're owned by the same chap who bought them a year ago, the freehold. The previous owner retired, so it's good they're under new ownership. Obviously making him a lot of money. The Pilgrim estate is split into two, almost like the single units and the double units. The single units was the one we went to first. This was with the same agent as the previous one. This was up for 110,000. Now, without trying to sound snobbish, the entrance to the park was at the back of social priced housing. And whilst I know some absolutely fantastic people and loyal friends and great friends indeed in sort of such like vivid housing, the family that lived next door to this unit, all I can say, it made the Griswolds look like royalty. And the term I used to the agent was frying pan and into the fire. That's exactly what I'm trying to avoid here by selling up, and it would only be getting worse. The image I will just quickly portray is this end of terrace. Quite nice, obviously council-based housing. About a 25-year-old Range Rover, blacked out windows, father doing something with it. A female who was about 40 stone on an electric scooter, I think more of her overhung each side of the seat than was in the seat. How that poor thing actually moved, I do not know. There were three what I'll call siblings. I'm going to call them Mercedes, Porsche and Chlamydia, because most probably quite suitable names for them. And going to the home now, the home was bigger than the previous one. It had a gorgeous grassy area around it. had its own off-street driveway, which went off another road at the back, adjacent to the said house, and my big gates, or what would be my big gates there, opening onto that road. I can just see Hillbilly Bert parking across them and being too sloshed to actually move them. So the home itself was very old. It hadn't had anything done to it for a long while. Wallpaper was starting to lift at the edges, an element of damp, bereavement sale. I think either the agents overpriced it by about 40 grand or someone's wanting a bit too much inheritance. Both this unit and the previous unit were 25 years old approximately. The previous unit was a lot better, and the owners had owned that one from brand new, which, like a car, says a lot. But that one was just too small, and I didn't like the plastic thingy inside. Well, that was butch, wasn't it? So then I ventured into Ringwood, which was actually rather pleasant. Certainly lots of retail, and you never know whether that might always come in handy for employment if I chose that in that area as part-time to semi-retire. But no, it was a very nice area, brick paved streets, Waitrose, Sainsbury's, huge car park, and I was busting for a pee, and they got electronic, about 20 of them, toilets all in a row. Absolutely fantastic idea. All safe and clean and very nice indeed. Very well done, Ringwood. So I was very impressed with the town centre. It was very busy, but then from the traffic going through Dorset, yes, everyone's got mad today. Then went back to, let me get this right, this was Pilgrims Park again. This time not by the Hillbillies, this was by the double units, which was a bit further up. Still access from behind, shall we say the socially affordable housing, correct name for it, but it was very pleasant and a very pleasant entrance into the site. This part of the site was shaped a bit like a capital letter H, and this twin unit, it's the only twin unit I've seen today, was at the, shall we say, the top of the right hand stem of the H. It was absolutely glorious condition on the outside. Had its own driveway accessed from the estate. Dotty, enough. Why? Anyway, I'm going to carry on. You'll hear me over the toy, I hope. The home, impeccable outside, and going inside, also impeccable. An elderly lady, bless her, she's going to go to live with her family. And she wants to sell, and she's made it quite clear, as in the price of 125,000, that she's willing to accept a lot less than that. Hence, I can afford it, or it should be affordable. She smokes, but nothing was discoloured. It wasn't like when I saw 2 years ago where or cigarette stains were running down the windows and walls and on a virtually brand new unit. This was absolutely spotless inside and out. I personally would have to get some carpets replaced to, although they look like new, for vinyl for a certain little doglet who likes to give me little presents every now and then, shall we say. But it was a lovely unit, 2 big double bedrooms, huge lounge, and a gorgeous view down the estate without being overlooked. 2 little chihuahuas in the one opposite, on the opposite side of the cul-de-sac, yapping away, which I'm sure my 2 would have the delights of having a conversation with most of the day. It would need a couple of bits of fencing putting up, stroke gates to keep the dogs in, but that wouldn't really be much and it wouldn't cost much. Be quite straightforward. Very nice unit. I could keep an EV there if funds permitted, because it's got its own driveway, so I could put have an EV point installed. So that was a lovely unit, that really was. I then ventured back to a Lumbey Drive park again, and this one was up at 125. This was a last minute one this morning that I added on. I'm really glad I did. Absolutely gorgeous. This one and the last one, the double unit, are both 15 years old. Both look about 3 years old, to be honest. Both been looked after, decorated, and really, you can see they've been loved and cared for. 2 bedrooms again. For a single unit, very big bedrooms, built-in wardrobes, huge kitchen, lovely big lounge that actually look down that part of the estate. Parking outside allocated, potentially could have an EV cable going across under a rubber matting. But the previous owner had a cat, and oh my god, it's got like 6-7 foot fencing all the way around. It's not overlooked. It's actually got 4 gates in situ throughout the grounds around it, and it's quite a decent sized garden around it. A huge one at the front, and then round the back there's one to separate, and then there's one 3/4 of the way around, there's one round the front on the other side. Absolutely fantastic. It's totally dog proofed already. The only downside was, once again, the carpet situation. I'd have to get changed. Not the end of the world, but we're looking at 1,500 quid there. And like a couple of my windows here, when you open them, if they catch in the wind, the hinges tend to blow out a little bit, and you have to go outside and just push them for the window to be flush again. I noticed that with a couple of the windows there. That's Dottie drinking, not me doing anything. Thank you, Dottie. Yes, you. Bless her. So that'll be my only concern. Possibly might be an adjustment, or might need replacing. I've lived with mine here for many years like that. It's not an issue, except for the one that's upstairs that does it here. But that's a park home. It's a bungalow. It's all on one level. I can just go outside and give it a little whoosh, and it's all flush again. So 2 really nice homes. Really did like it. The agent on the last one did have a brand new unit on the estate. I said, how much is that? Wishful thinking, brand spanking new. Turned out to be 185,000. However, he hadn't seen it, so he wanted to go and have a little nose. So he went and had a little nose at that one. And to be honest, although it's the same brand as the latter one, the single one, Omar, the make of it, he was smaller, and neither of us liked it as much as the 125 grand one I just viewed. So the last 2, certainly big ticks and a little bit of thinking. After that, there's a unit I wanted to see in Town Kingston near Blandford Forum. I couldn't get a viewing till next week on this one, but I was aware of the unit. It was brand new about 2 years ago when I was trying to sell my house then, and it had been in situ for a little while, and they couldn't sell it because it was quite a high price. It was 110,000. It's sort of 1.5 units. It's like a double unit, but one of the sides of it is a little bit shorter, sort of like a little bit of an L shaped. But the photos, and I wish estate agents wouldn't do this, photos made it look quite long and quite spacious in the grounds around it. But it was actually tipping it down, absolutely streaming down. It's in the heart of some absolutely stunning Dorset countryside, rolling hills, farmland for as far as you can see. Absolutely beautiful, just up the road from the Winterbourne Whitechurch site, the Lady Bailey Park I like. Unfortunately, this one is accessed through a scrapyard. I couldn't believe it. I presume it's owned by the owner of the scrapyard and recovery business. It was awful to think that you're going to describe to people visiting, yeah, to get to my home, you'll soon spot it, you'll see a scrapyard outside. Pleasant enough park. Some of the units are quite old on it, rather all close together. This one has obviously been crammed in a bit of space at the end, and I could walk around and just put one arm out and touch the fence, and my body would be touching the unit. So despite the photographs, it really was not very spacious at all in the grounds. The unit is only 3 or 4 years old. It was going green on the outside. It hadn't really been loved or cared for. It didn't look like, anyway. I might be totally wrong, and it might just be the crap weather we've had that's caused it to go green. I dare say it is just a sponge and bucket that will clean it. But at the end of the day, if you're trying to sell something for 110 grand, then you want to make it look like it's worth 110 grand and not 70. And to think it's only 3 or 4 years old, I'd have thought it was about 15, 20 years old from the outside. No, it's not even being considered, which is unfortunate because I've always liked the look of that one. But it shows you what trick photography does. It's been a long day. So I'm going to play you some photographs now in the order that I view them, and a little comment on each one so you know which ones I like and which ones I don't. Next viewing is next week, where we go to see, or where I go to see rather, 2 park homes and Bertha the Y-beam boat. That's all I'm going to say on that subject. So here's today's vlog, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you like the photographs that are coming up. I'd love to hear your comments below. You can just post your comments below on the vlog. If you've liked this and enjoyed it, give me the thumbs up. If you haven't liked it, I'll tell you what, still give me the thumbs up, because it makes me feel good. Hit subscribe button. By hitting that, I always delay on this, damn it. Hit subscribe if you enjoyed this. It builds up my subscription numbers, very important to the channel. And hit the bell icon. Then YouTube will let you know when the next one's out, which is going to be next week at some point. Hopefully these are going to get a bit more regular now. Enjoy, and thank you very much for viewing. Bye, take care.
Thank